ladies and gentlemen, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy could step down sooner than expected. This is the first time we have covered this on this channel, so I want to make sure that we are aware of that. So this is huge news.
Oh my gosh.
A few months ago, rumors swirled that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy was gearing up to step down from her executive role. The news was welcomed by Star Wars fans who have lost faith in Kennedy's vision for the franchise, though she'd later rein in expectations. To recap, Kennedy joined Lucasfilm as co-chair alongside Star Wars creator George Lucas in 2012, and later took over following his exit when Disney acquired the company for $4 billion. Initially, Kennedy found great success in the role. Force Awakens was a box office hit that grossed $2 billion worldwide. Some fans weren't happy with the movie, but it was a critical success. And 2 years later, The Last Jedi was another win for the studio. Rogue One also grossed over $1 billion and received positive reviews despite creative issues behind the scenes. The trouble started when she fired filmmakers Lord and Miller in the middle of shooting the Star Wars story Solo. That's bullshit. That's not when the trouble started.
No.
That is not when the trouble started at all. And then longtime friend Ron Howard was enlisted to finish the project, but it was a flop. In 2019, Rise of Skywalker was panned by critics and fans alike as a disappointing conclusion to the Skywalker saga. When we entered the era of movies, we then entered an era of movies being announced only for them to never materialize. That's the Lucasfilm way, baby. Let's just announce a bunch of projects and none of them see the light of day. Not a trilogy.
Nope.
I'm sorry, not a movie. We're talking about a trilogy.
Yeah.
2 canceled trilogies
to
this day, right now, in 2025.
Yep.
How many? So was it 8 years later? After Rian Johnson's trilogy was announced before The Last Jedi, Lucasfilm has never officially canceled Rian Johnson's trilogy.
Nope.
The last thing we heard from Rian Johnson is that he's still working on it, and that was like 5 years ago.
Bro.
They've never even canceled it. Not a movie. We're talking about a trilogy. We also had the trilogy for Benioff and Weiss that was announced before Game of Thrones ended, and then they fired them. And so 2 canceled trilogies. If she was planning to step down at the end of the summer, then it surely means Kennedy has already found her successor. Dave Filoni was previously named as a likely candidate, though that seems unlikely given how many projects he's developing as a creative. Kennedy's time at Lucasfilm president is winding down, but she intends to step down on her terms, and that should make this an interesting year for Star Wars fans. Now, if you go over to Star Wars Newsnet, they initially put this headline out that Kathleen Kennedy was leaving, and now it says, update, Kathleen Kennedy not stepping down in August, because all of these sites were running with this Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down in August bullshit. Update. Since posting this article, it was brought to our attention that the new details provided below about Kennedy's exit are incorrect. She will not be stepping down in August as previously reported. My God, what in the hell are we doing here, dude? This is absolute nonsense. She ain't going nowhere, okay?
Nope.
Somehow Kathleen Kennedy returned.
Every time.
This evil woman is not going anywhere because there are clowns like John Campea that'll tell you that she's the greatest producer in Hollywood history.
Yep.
When has that term ever been said before? The greatest producer. What the fuck is a producer in Hollywood? I mean, it could be anything.
Anything. Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
She's the greatest person to get on her knees and earn the producer position because she gets the coffee and she swallows the cream. Okay. That's why she's a great producer. All right. She ain't never done anything but latch onto the name of great men that have made great films. That's what she's done. I'm done with this bullshit that she's a great producer. She ain't shit. Okay, she's never done anything. And the fact is, she finally got creative control over a project with her name at the top of the list, and she has fucked up the greatest IP in the history of movies. That's her accomplishment right there. She doesn't get credit because her name is on Jurassic Park. She doesn't get credit because her name is on Indiana Jones. She doesn't get credit because great men made great films and she was able to politically maneuver herself to put her name on the project. Fuck that bullshit. Absolutely ridiculous.
100%, man. Listen, it's just like we've talked about this how many times, like when it comes to like sports, it doesn't matter who, if you work for Bill Belichick, he gets you a ton of rings. How many of those guys have went on to actually lead a team to a Super Bowl? None of them.
Yep. That's it.
It's you know, you can say all day long, well, yeah, but they were great under Belichick. She was great under Spielberg. She was great working with Lucas. All these iconic names she's attached to, and she finally takes over literally something that is that you could have like walked with your eyes closed through a room and made money with Star Wars, bro. You could have put random words in a hat and shit it out on the floor and still come up with a better idea than what she has. And now Star Wars is essentially worthless. It's crazy.
It is absolutely worthless. No one cares. You ruined the greatest IP in the history of movies. George Lucas, you sat there and lied straight to George Lucas's face. You said George will be the keeper of the flame. You said that Star Wars will not move forward without getting George Lucas's stamp of approval, and then you lied.
Yep.
Over and over again, and you have destroyed this franchise, and that's the truth of the matter right there. There's no other way to spin this other than that. She's bad at what she does, and
it's all her fault. Yeah.
Yes. Like, how many of you went to see Jurassic Park in theaters? How many of you in the chat? Okay. When you were making that decision, did you go, yeah, I'm a little on the fence on this Jurassic Park movie, but I hear Kathleen Kennedy produced, so I think I'm going to go see it. Not one single fucking person has ever made that statement. However, there have been many people that have said, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's involved in these Star Wars projects, I'm not going to go see it. She's made plenty of people never go see a movie, but there's not one single person that has ever saw Kathleen Kennedy as producer on a film and thought that's a reason to go see it. Yeah. Never happened. It's absolutely ridiculous. So
yeah, it is. I 100% agree with you, man. Yep, she's franchise cancer now at this point.
She is.
And she's never gonna, she ain't leaving. And I tell you right now, whoever she decides to pick as her successor is gonna be a hell of a lot worse than she is, because there ain't no way she's picking somebody that she thinks is gonna help elevate Star Wars. She's gonna pick somebody that is in lockstep with her agenda and lockstep with what she believes, which is probably why she hasn't picked somebody yet.
Yep. She'll leave whenever the fuck she wants because she knows where all the bodies are buried. Okay. Yep. That's it. That's it. It's as simple as that. Nobody's going to call her out. And that's just the truth of the matter. So she's a terrible person. She's a terrible leader. She's destroyed Star Wars. And those are the facts right there. You got a bunch of shills that won't say what I'm willing to say because they are scared of the truth. And the truth is Kathleen Kennedy has never done anything creative in her life that was a success. Nothing whatsoever. But yet these clowns want to try to give her credit for Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park and all these other films. Get the hell out of here. It's absolutely nonsense. So
get the fuck out. Step off.
And I'm not racist because I have a half black friend.
Yeah, today you could say a lot of things that you can't normally say with Beardo here. And I'll back you up.